GSL.
What's up, guys? We're Tastosis, and this is the GSL Code S.
The greatest show in the world.
Take that, Cirque du Soleil.
Take that, Barnum and Bailey's.
It's good to be here. Guys, it is, we're going now into the second day here of the round of 16. And so far, we've had some fantastic games. The matches we had Wednesday, some of the best matches we've ever cast.
Yeah, Wednesday was like really good matches. Definitely, you can go back and check those out. Maru really crushed that group.
Yeah,
Life getting eliminated. It was a crazy day. But today is a really good day as well. In fact, all four of these groups are pretty damn stacked.
This year is going to be by far the best year of GSL we've had. All the Koreans back here now together. I'd say what, like 99% of them, all here competing in this one league, the league. It's funny. We started out GSL Code S. And not everybody had switched over from Brood War. There were still a lot of Brood War pro gamers. There are still people that play Brood War, but there was like one exodus to StarCraft II and then a second mass exodus amongst the Korean pro gamers. But then WCS came up, so a lot of Koreans went to North America or went to Europe to compete there. But now, with things being changed, we have a lot, basically all the Koreans coming back now and competing. So first season we had this year, fantastic. And this season, it looks like it's going to be even better.
Oh, yeah. I think this season, without a doubt, is going to be better than last season. Last season was kind of random with the open qualifier and all that. So we had a few jobbers in there, for sure. A few guys that were meant to lose from the beginning. But this season definitely getting a lot harder. I think next season going to be maybe our best season ever. Because I feel that the last season, last year, was our best season ever so far.
It was.
Yeah.
Great finals, too. Best finals we've ever had.
No, I mean, not last season. Last season had the best finals we ever had, I think. But I think the season at the end of 2014 was our best overall season.
Yeah, both of them were pretty good. Yeah, and I think you're right. I think the season after this should be by far the best.
Yeah, I think so.
With the quality of players, should be great quality games. Anyways, we got 4 fantastic players here today.
Yeah.
And after the end of today, we'll have half of the round of 8 made up.
That's right. And guys, by the way, don't forget to check out the prediction event at the GOMEXP app. Definitely download that. Very, very nice app that you can check out.
Let's take a look at the group selection video.
저는 일단 테란 선수들이랑 다 해보고 싶어서 준호 형이 1등이신 것 같고 이상이 형 두고 보자. 이상이가 근데 좀 뽑을 것 같아요.
조대영 선수 쪽으로 갈까요? 호명재!
조성재 선수가 탑5 안에 들어간다. 제 마인드는 탑2.
옆에 데려서 놓고 놀리기까지 하니까 쉬운 선수 뽑으려고 그랬거든요.
조성재 선수로서 원희석 선수를 떨어뜨리는 것도 하나의 목적이잖아요.
이병렬! 이병렬 선수 데리고 갔어요.
저그 선수 뽑고 싶다 해가지고 살짝 저도 근데 이쪽 들어가고 싶었어요. 근데
마지막에 지명권에 이병렬 선수가 없어요.
고병재 선수랑 마지막 남은 선수랑 잡고 8강 올라가겠습니다.
근데 전체적으로 도가 비슷해서 아무데나 가도 상관없어요.
그래도 특기는 좀 피하고 싶지 않아요?
최진영 선수는 길을 잃었습니다. 자동으로 D조로 가주세요. 이제 모든 변수는 이승현 선수에게 남아있어요.
성주랑 지성이 형 하는 거 보고 싶어서 재밌을 것 같아요.
그것 때문에 결승 대신에 받겠어요. 그렇죠. 여기서 자리를 좀 바꿔주시고요. 정명 선수는 가만히 있다가 바뀌었어요.
사실 제가 여기 왜 왔는지 모르겠는데
원희석 싫다면서요.
싫은데 한번 해보고 싶은 마음이 조금 있긴 했어요. 그래서 뭐 괜찮은 것 같아요.
파티 구미호 로그 FanTaSy
he did not say that. Oh, this group is going to be out of control today.
We're going to go to the interviews now with our 4 players, see what their thoughts are before we start today's matches.
원희석 선수, 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
So first party, who is now in his 9th consecutive round of 16.
소감부터 들어볼게요.
They both say hello.
일단
She says, how do you feel today?
9연속 16강 진출이라는 기록을 세웠는데
I'm very happy that I set a record
10연속까지 채워서
of 9
상을 받을지
consecutive round of
모르겠는데
16s. I
원희석상을
want
한번 만들어보고 싶어서
네.
I want to get into
오늘 꼭
my
8강
10th consecutive
진출하고
꼭 올라가야
big
코드에서
10 in a row,
다음
excuse
더
me.
쉽게
And
시작할
of
수
course
있을 것
advance to
같은데
round of 8
근데 굉장히 기분이 좋으실 것 같아요. 최근 해외 대회에서 다 결승에서 이겼던 고병재 선수, 정명우 선수 다 있거든요. 오늘 저
You
마음에
defeated
드세요?
Gumiho in FanTaSy and a lot of
일단은
foreign tournament
저는
finals.
제 입장에서는 해볼 만한
Yes, I'm
거라고
very satisfied about
말할 수
this
있을 것
group.
같고
네.
그리고 자신감도 다 있기 때문에
I'm very confident.
오늘 좀 웃음을 지으면서 게임할 수 있지 않을까라는
And I
생각을
think
조심스럽게 해봅니다.
I think I'm going to be
네,
smiling a
그런데
lot after today's matches.
지난 수요일에 이승현 선수 탈락하신 거 아시죠?
네네 봤어요.
Did you see Life get
조심하셔야
eliminated
될것 같아요.
in Group A?
승현이가
And he says, yeah, I
저를
was watching.
보면서 배운 게 없나 봐. 입을 털면은 진다는 그 저주가 있는데
It seems that Life hasn't
딱
learned anything
그대로
from me.
물려받더라고요 승현이가. 그래서
He said too
보면서
much in the group selection.
입을 함부로 놀리면 안
That's how you end up
된다.
getting knocked out.
진출하고 입을
He should have learned
놀리던지 해야
from the mistakes I've made where I've
한번
talked
더
too much
했고
trash.
오늘
Anyways, it's going to be an easier tournament without
마음속으로는
Life in it.
이미 제가 하고 싶은 말이 있는데
네.
일단은 지금 하고 싶은 말은 오늘 최선을 다해서
네.
멋진 경기로 팬분들
So I'm
보여드리도록
keeping
하겠습니다.
my words to
네,
myself. I
원희석
don't want to
선수
jinx it and get eliminated like Life did.
이빨에 이깔린 자신감이 느껴지는데 자 고병재 선수, 정명우 선수, 이병렬 선수 어떤 마음일지 궁금하네요. 먼저 오늘 첫 상대 고병재 선수.
Now let's talk to Gumiho.
평소 천사로 통하는 고병재 선수도
We'll be
원희석
facing off
선수를
against
보면
Parting in the
못한다고
second message that we have today.
오늘 어떤 마음으로 오셨어요?
저는 오늘 이기고 지는 것보다 그냥 이사기를 이기냐 못 이기냐가 더 중요할 것 같은데요.
네.
It doesn't matter if I
제
advance the round of 8
생각에
or
저는
not.
쉽지 않은
I
조라고
really just want to
생각하거든요.
beat Parting
네.
today.
떨어지더라도 이사기는 꼭
Today is going to be a tough group for me, even though
오늘 정말
I may get
마찬가지로
eliminated.
무서운
My
경기가
goal
나올 것
here today is to
같은데
knock Parting out
준비는 일단
first.
만족스러우세요? 잘하셨어요?
만족스러운 거까지는 아닌데 토스전을 일단 최대한 열심히 준비했기 때문에
네.
I've actually only prepared against Protoss
잘
today.
되지
Wow,
않을까
okay, I didn't
싶습니다.
expect that.
네.
So-
그 옆에 계시는 정명우 선수.
So I think my matches against
정명우
Protoss
선수는
are
약간 얼떨결에
gonna be
이겨서
good.
봤거든요.
네.
저
did not
느낌
expect that,
어떠세요?
Artosis.
No, I didn't.
근데 A조보다 쉬운 것 같고요. 저스트만 쉬운 전 아니라
FanTaSy says I think my group's actually easier than Group A since
이사기가
I was traded.
보니까
네.
이미 올라간 것처럼 기분이 좋아 보이더라고요.
원희석 선수 좀
This
복수하고
Parting seems very happy
싶으시죠?
today. Like he's already advanced.
이사기까지 다 볼등 올라가고 싶어요.
네, 모두 원희석 선수를 원하고
So my goal,
있는 것 같은데
FanTaSy
이병렬
says
선수는 오늘
my goal here
어떤
today is to
마음으로
simply to knock Parting out as well.
저는 이사기는 솔직히 좀 힘들 것 같고 투테란 이기고 올라가려고
Rogue says I think Parting's a hard
전
opponent,
잘하시니까요.
but I'm
준비는
actually more
잘하셨어요.
focused about the two Terrans in my group
괜찮고
and just
명훈이 형이
advance.
딱 제가 뺄 것 같은 맵을 딱 빼주셔서
오,
할 것도
He
뻔할
said
것 같아요.
FanTaSy eliminated a map that I didn't want to play
네,
on
일단
anyways, so I
시작하기
wanted to
전에
thank him
느낌은
for
아주 좋은데
taking that map
자,
out and making
그런데
this easier for me.
다들 이승현 선수 잡고 어윤수 선수 잡고 올라오신 분들이거든요. 그래도 사실 있으세요?
테란전은 항상 자신 있어서 괜찮습니다.
So the Terrans,
네, 자신감이 있으신 것
he's saying
같은데
he's very confident
자,
against Terrans. He
근데
says I think I'm going to do well today.
이승현 선수와 벌써 네 번째 만남입니다. 두 분이서 좀 정될
So
것
it's your
같은데
fourth time
어떠세요?
playing
정명훈
against
선수?
FanTaSy.
명훈이 형
Are you getting sick of playing against FanTaSy?
딱히 생각한 적이 없어서 그냥
You know that I hadn't really thought about FanTaSy
정명
that
선수는
much.
어떠세요?
I
이병렬
didn't
선수
actually
벌써
know
지난
it was my
시즌
fourth time
이후로
playing
벌써
against
네
him.
번째
So he
오늘이.
didn't put much thought into it.
근데 병렬이가 인터뷰에서 저랑 친해지고 싶다고 한 걸로 아는데 어쨌든 저도 자주 만나게
Rogue
돼서
said he wanted to be good friends with
좋은
me.
것 같고요. 근데 항상 병렬이가 저한테
Yeah, I'm
말을
happy to meet him
해도
again.
항상 저한테 지더라고요. 그래서 오늘 제가 할 것 같아요.
Even though he says that he's
이승현
confident
경기도
against me, he's always losing to me. So it's probably going to happen again
그
here today.
정도급은 아니지만 그래도
네.
이기기만 했으면 좋겠어요.
네. 이병렬 선수 이기면 이제
And he says
세레머니
basically I just want to win against Rogue and everybody else.
그 세레머니를 이사기를 이겼으면 더 기분이 좋을 것 같아요.
아 그때 하면 최고로. 자 그러면 고병재 선수도
Rogue says he's going to do a ceremony
오늘
if he beats
정말
Party
어려운
today.
조라고 하셨거든요. 이
He says it's
조에서
gonna be
올라가게
hard.
되면 세레머니 하시는 거예요?
She asks Gumiho, are you going to do any ceremonies for us?
저 그런 거 생각하면 항상
says, well, I guess we'll have to see.
생각하진 않았어요.
그러면 저희도
If I think about any ceremonies, I always end up messing up my game,
자
so I
오늘
don't want to
이렇게
think
비조에
about that for my
나서는
game.
선수분들 만나봤는데요.
And that
지난 시즌에
is going to
준우승자
do it for our
유연수 신상이
interviews.
빛나는 원희삭 선수의
Already.
이 조 어떤
Casey.
결과가 나올지 잠시 후 지켜보겠습니다.
What do you think?
I'm actually, honestly, very surprised to hear Gumiho said he only prepared for Protoss.
I think he feels pretty confident in his TVT and TVZ already.
Sure.
He plays a very strong brand of mech, and since he's joined MVP, he kind of has like a wider range than he had before. Kind of like when Life went to KT, he kind of like his range opened up a bit. He doesn't just cheese anymore, and Gumiho doesn't just mech. So
yeah,
which is what he was kind of doing for a while. So I think that's probably why. And he did get completely slain by Rain in the round of 32. So probably wasn't feeling too good about that matchup.
Yeah.
That's my guess for why he probably did that. I still think Parting will probably take him out, though.
Parting should get out of this group. As good as this group, I mean, I think that Parting obviously is overshadowing these other players, but Gumiho, FanTaSy, and Rogue, I'd say are all very, pretty even in skill and very solid.
Yeah, they're all really good players. It's hard to predict this group. I think Parting will get out in first or second place.
Yeah, I'd say it's a tie for me for the other three.
I've been thinking about it like all day. Like, who's actually going to get out of here?
Maybe Rogue.
I love Rogue. Like, he is one of my very favorite Zergs, and I don't think he's going to get out today, to be honest.
You don't think so?
No,
if I had to pick one, I'd lean towards Rogue. But I mean, it's a very tough one.
Yeah,
FanTaSy, of course, we're always excited to cast his games.
I'm kind. It's hard. I'm feeling kind of Parting Gumiho.
You're thinking Parting Gumiho?
Maybe.
Well,
yeah.
Gumiho's really never a bad bet, right? But they said it was his 9th. Wait, no. How many round of 16s has Gumiho been in? He's been in a lot, right?
Well, it's Parting's 9th round of 16.
Parting's 9th.
Gumiho, I don't think he's been in too many round of 16. He's been in a decent amount of Code S at least.
By the way, guys, those of you that came down to the studio.
He's gotten pretty deep before, though.
Those of you guys that came down to the studio, thank you so much for coming down here. And for those of you at home, you're always welcome to come down to our studio. Entry is free. You can even hear our commentary if you want. We have little headsets down there you can pick up. But
right.
Onto this group, it really is tough to pick who's going to get out. Gumiho's not a bad bet. Gumiho does perform very well. He's not the kind of guy that we ever expect to be, for instance, in like a round of 4, but he's definitely like a fixture in Code S.
Yeah, very strong.
Yeah.
Like everyone in this group, I think they're all definitely Code S level players, like top 32 in the world players. I mean, I would love to see Rogue get out of here because Life is already out. We only have 3 Zergs left. Rogue is one of these guys I think is going to rise up. I shouldn't say think. I should say I really think he's going to rise up and be one of the best Zergs in the world for a long time. I don't think he's quite there yet to be someone like Life or like Sulky or something where it's like he's just always getting deep. But I think he is going to get there. And I would love to see him kind of break through this season, but we'll see.
Love to see what happens. Cool to have FanTaSy here. If you were watching StarCraft before StarCraft II, FanTaSy was one of the most technical, brilliant Brood War players out there.
Yeah,
the protege of Slayer's Boxer in the late years of Brood War. Brood War is still going on, by the way, but before we had that mass exodus, right before StarCraft 2 came out, this guy was dominating. FanTaSy has not quite had the same level of success, though, that he had in Brood War, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, we'll see if he can get there. You know, he's kind of doing his own thing right now with his foreign teams at Pixels, and still he's playing better and better. So that's what we need to see out of FanTaSy. And you know, I think his style translates reasonably well to StarCraft 2. So definitely some potential from him. But let's talk about this guy, Rogue, for a moment.
Sure.
Really struck me when he was saying, like, for this year, he's not aiming to win a championship, he's aiming to improve his base skill. When I hear something like that from someone who's already doing things like top 4s in tournaments, then I have to just really turn my head and be like, damn, this guy actually is thinking about this in the right way. This is a long-term investment.
I totally agree with you, Artosis. When you look at somebody and they say, look, I'm just here to improve, that means they're not getting too greedy. They're not saying, this is it, now's the moment, I think maybe I'm the best player, I'm going to take this all the way. Not in this case. Instead, he says, I'm just here to learn because there's going to be many more GSLs to come.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going for the long term, for the real skill overall, not just trying to get as far as he can each season. So that's pretty cool. And Hebrew against FanTaSy is a pretty cool match. We'll see if Rogue can hold on. I have a feeling we may see some mech here, Tasteless.
I think there's a good chance of it, Artosis. FanTaSy, he was so good at meching. In fact, FanTaSy was one of the guys who actually, in Brood War, could mech against Zerg very well.
Yeah, he certainly was.
And, you know, Did you mech much against Zerg? You were a Terran player in Brood War, didn't you?
I did both a lot. Like I played so much damn Brood War that I did end up meching against Zerg a hell of a lot.
You know, Fantasy just had these really technical mech builds, like sometimes involving drops and like weird stuff against Zerg, and then expanding and then being on 3 bases and actually making it work. So
super technical.
Not a shock that we see a mech here today. Anyways, we're starting our first best of 3. Let's do this. In the upper left, in the red, our Zerg player, he is
Gene Air Green Wings Rogue.
And in the bottom right, in the blue, our Terran player, he is
Dead Pixels Fantasy.
So, as we were saying, this guy, so good at Brood War, and that was way when Brood War was figured out. Because there were really, the whole Brood War era was sort of we saw the beginning of people understanding RTS, all the way to this game has been so mapped out, and now we have so many different maps we have to put out there to keep it, alive and changing. But really, this was a guy that came at the end of Brood War and dominated. I don't know if he's going to be as much of a dominant force throughout the era of StarCraft II.
I would say no, not as much of a dominant force. Like people don't. The thing is, StarCraft II. People talk about like, oh, who's a bone troll, who's not. Like, could we have called MVP it? Could we call Life it?
Well, yeah, we definitely could have called MVP and Life. If they're not, then I don't know who is.
Well, the thing is, I think that the general consensus is they're not. But the thing is, in StarCraft II, there's like 1 billion more games played regularly than there ever was in StarCraft 1, so it's kind of unfair as well.
Yeah, it's people do occasionally make that error.
Yeah.
Everybody was playing Brood War back in the day, but there wasn't as quick of a circulation of tournaments.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you guys remember way back when, a GSL was actually more spread out. In the early days, now we can actually crank them.
Yeah, well, there's just like so many tournaments all over the place.
So many matches going on. Because there's Korean esports, and then there's also non-Korean esports.
Yeah, and
so that's a lot of. I mean, we have tournaments all over the world, whether that be tournaments all over Asia or just Europe, North America, wherever.
Yeah.
It can dilute, as far as people perceive it, dilute who's actually the best. Because
yeah, like if you look at like the amount of tournaments that Life just dominated in a row before he went into his gigantic slump. this
Dude,
week,
I almost water almost came out of my nose. Because people are saying that like Life's in a slump now, like because he didn't win.
He didn't win this GSL.
This GSL, that means he's in a slump. Like
that's definitely it. You mean he got eliminated in the round of 16?
And GSL.
I think Life is basically done. I heard KT's kicking him, but no, like, I mean. I don't think that we can ever see Fantasy look the same way he did in StarCraft 1 because of that type of thing. But
well,
I think that's
what I would like to see
considering.
is Fantasy in a Fantasy, at least in a Code S finals or something like that.
Yeah. Here's my problem with it, and I've said things like this before. He's not in a Kespa team.
That is and look, that is an issue.
He obviously likes Dead Pixels. He wants to be on the team. He left basically the franchise, SK Telecom. He left them to join a different team, so this is what he wants, and that's great. And even if he can't achieve, what he did in StarCraft 1, that's fine, because here he is in the round of 16 of Code S.
Is Parting still on Yowie Flash Wolves? Yeah, he's still on Yowie Flash Wolves, so he'd be, I guess, the one guy who's not.
Yeah, he's
kind of the exception to the rule, then, isn't he?
I gotta say though, Yowie Flash Wolves is as close to a Kespa team as you can get outside of Korea.
That's very true. Yowie Flash Wolves is very solid.
They're like with Lenok, San, a bunch of really, really great players in Taiwan.
Yeah,
as well.
No, I mean,
I think like they have a training house and all that. Like they're a very professional team.
Yeah, I think a lot of people internationally don't know. Taiwan is sort of like Korea Junior for esports.
Yeah,
and I mean that in the most respectful way. Like you go down there, they have esports stadiums. They have real pro teams that actually do know how to train. And it's got a pretty solid set of players. I mean, to play within the Taiwanese scene.
They're very good.
Meta, and I'm not just saying that for StarCraft. I'm saying that
they
for
share the
games
server with Korea, so they have great practice. So
now I want to go back a little bit further here, Artosis, and point out one thing that you mentioned, because I know a lot of our viewers get salty when we say that you basically have to be on a Kespa team
Yeah.
If you want to, win a GSL Code S, a lot of people like get frustrated by that, but I mean, it is true.
Yeah. Well,
we don't want it to be like that, guys. Like, trust me. Before StarCraft II came out, Artosis and me were pretty confident that North America would be just as strong as Korea. That Europe would have all these great players.
We definitely thought there would be players that could compete.
Yeah, and it just.
And well, there were a couple, I guess.
Sure, no, it wasn't like it was non-existent, but I thought it was even then.
Kespa didn't get their act together in StarCraft 2 for a while.
That's true.
And the StarCraft 2 teams were not the same as Kespa teams, so just
totally different beast.
But
anyways, onto this game we got us. Yeah, we've actually we were ripping for a while there.
Certainly.
In this game here, we have a Spire Tech for the Zerg. And we had the Banshee build here for FanTaSy.
Yeah, he was getting Cloak, but he ended up canceling that out.
Oh, good catch. I didn't actually see that.
Yeah. And he did go for the triple command against this 2-base Muta play. So we'll see if the 2-base Muta can get a little bit of damage on. It's going to need to get a little bit to try to even this up, because his economy is a little bit slower than what you'll normally see. Well, I shouldn't say normally anymore, because this build is quite popular. But it's slower than the other Zerg builds that aren't all-ins. If you don't go for 2-base layer, you're going to have a much quicker 3rd base. So we'll see what these mutas can get done for Rogue.
Well, the link speed is going to be getting done here. And so far, I mean, it's been a passive game. They both went for, these macro builds. I guess the question is going to be how much damage do the mutas really do here?
Well, I'm going to take out a Viking. That is one lost Viking right there, Tasos.
Whoa! The Blizzard jokes are real.
Wow!
Did you ever play that game, Lost Vikings?
No, I didn't actually. Did you?
I think I played like a very, very little bit of it. It's actually a puzzle game. It's pretty good.
Puzzle games can be pretty good.
Okay,
wow,
how
this
many
is
kills
actually
these
pretty good.
Considering these are 2 Vikings, this is doing way more damage than...
You wish they were 2 Vikings.
Excuse me, 2. Well, if 2 Vikings land on the ground and got that many kills, that'd be impressive. 2 Hellions here.
Yeah, 6 kills, and the mutas actually flew all the way back, which really, letting FanTaSy see those mutas for a moment and not harassing with them for a moment, that's really nice. But yeah, right now, FanTaSy has his 1-1 way ahead. We do have that bailing speed on the way, but how many SCVs will he end up getting off of this? So far, 4. 5. 6.
So a bit of a trade here with lost workers. And we now have the 3rd base being taken here. It doesn't look like the mutas are going to fly by there. But if they can get over there and possibly force that to lift up, they are going to go over there. And, well, looks like he won't be able to stop this at all, though. Not in enough time. So we're going to be going on to pretty solid late game here. This is going to be a pretty epic TVZ.
I'm excited for it. It looks pretty good right now. A lot of Mutalists being made by Rogue. I really like that. This is King Sejong Station, so it takes a while to actually walk over there and attack. The 3rd base is just so far back from everything.
Yeah.
Of course, we are going to have to see the 4th taken right away, and we are seeing that from Rogue.
And this is because Zerg always wants to be an expansion ahead. Sometimes 2 expansions ahead, but if you're on even bases and you're Zerg, and it goes like that for a while, you're probably going to lose. Or you're probably already losing. So we have the initial push coming out here. Now notice this is synced up with combat shields finishing, as well as concussive shells. And we'll see how much map control he can actually get here. What is the deal with these extra Vikings, by the way? We don't really see that in this matchup. We've seen 3 Vikings this game so far.
I think he was very specifically trying to help zone the mutas out, and if they stayed in lower numbers for a little bit, it would have done a better job. But yeah, the Vikings just haven't really done very much. And in fact, I really love how quickly he's gotten this nice high muta count of
I'm not
15.
sure the last game we've casted where we had this unit comp on the ground for Terran with like 3 Vikings out. That's interesting, because that's even when you think about it, guys. If he's making Vikings, he's not making medevacs, and medevacs are, quite possibly the most important unit in for Terran against Zerg.
He made 3 Vikings.
Yeah,
he was probably thinking he could soak XP in the lanes or something. But the thing is, this is
Artosis.
If that's what he was thinking, he's not going to win this game, man.
He's
been playing too much Cardstone or something like that.
Hashtag passion. That was funny. So he's going to pick up here, possibly try to harass somewhere.
This is he's keeping him off the creep. The creep spread looking pretty good so far.
Also, notice how conservative Rogue's really been this game. He's not really engaged very much at all. Only when he really has to. You know, this is just to get the Marines to possibly pull back, and he just comes back out.
Very good place to harass right there. Trying to flank is FanTaSy, not quite able to get it done. But he is about to have 2-2. He's going to pop out a Thor here. The 2-2 a little bit slower on Rogue, but you know that's kind of what goes with this build.
And this is a bit of a nuisance, but these mutas will be able to clean this up pretty easily. So this drop actually lost more resources. It did not pay for itself. So unfortunately, bad play there for FanTaSy. FanTaSy now, though, pushing forward.
Yeah.
And those mutas are out of position, so we can clean up some of that creep. However, the creep spread's been pretty solid here from Rogue.
Yeah.
So he's not going to be able to drive that creep all the way back to the hatch just yet.
Yeah, you know, sometimes you have to give up a drop like that.
Sure.
Make the mutas go out of position so that you can get something done on the map. But what did he do? He killed like 4 creep tumors, and the creep is still pretty far out. Ooh, that's a good hit.
Yeah, got to be very careful. That's one of the one things Zerg really can't afford to have happen is their muta clump get hit by a Widow Mine. Because, I mean, Stim Marines do damage so insanely fast that if you miss micro at any point in time and they're all the mutas are bruised like this, they just disappear. We haven't seen a little push quite like this on this map in a while, but this actually does work. Just cutting the high ground and low ground in half here.
Nice drop over there. No defense anywhere.
Look at this. This is so good with the mostly Marauders on the low ground here.
Well, we'll see how good it is as he comes in now.
Good placement with the Thor, though.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big
that's smart.
Blockade there.
You will be able to bust through there. Ooh, that is
oh my God.
A little bit of cost inefficiency.
Don't know about that value there.
Yeah. He did not get that trade at Kmart Tasteless, that's for sure.
No, he did not, my friend. How many Banelings hit that Thor?
Enough.
How many Banelings does it take to kill a Thor? Does anybody just know?
A Nesty amount.
This is you know, we played StarCraft our whole lives and talked about it, but there's certain things you don't know because you never needed to know because you just don't crash Banelings into Thors.
Yeah.
It just, that doesn't happen.
Well, looks like he will end up cleaning this up for now. Does keep this 4th base up. But he's taken a lot of damage on it, and he's spent a hell of a lot of money doing so. See, right now he's just making... The thing is, he has a really good drone count, right? But he's using so many Banelings, he's losing mutas left and right. This is just a really nice prolonged push by FanTaSy. And
you know, this is the good placement that FanTaSy used when he was actually a good Brood War player.
Yeah.
This is why he was so good at meching even against Zerg. I mean, look at this. We've been casting how many games on this map? Have we seen a push that just, look at this, how it's all set up?
Yeah, it's really nicely
done. That Thor
done.
right up there, this army down here. I mean, this is actually beautiful.
Yeah, look at that. Just all the units in
look at
place.
this, yeah. This game's over. FanTaSy's going to win this. GG.
Yeah.
Rogue.
Well done.
Lost to quite a chess opening there. A chess push, if you will.
A chess push?
So, I mean, he had all the pieces in just the right spot.
Were they horses or bishops?
They were both.
Whoa.
Yeah.
He coordinated all this together. You can only leave one piece at a time. He cheated.
He was that game, Artosis. He was a queen piece that also had the option to move like a horse.
Wow, that's a pretty good piece.
That's a pretty good piece, right? Yeah. Do you ever play 3D chess or whatever? Is that actually good?
I don't know if I've ever played it. I might have played it like once or something. I played 3D tic-tac-toe before. It's crazy, man. It's mind-bending.
Wait, what? There's...
Yeah, 3-dimensional tic-tac-toe exists.
Wow. We should be casting that instead of this for sure.
Much harder game.
Much harder game.
This isn't 3D.
Some people say the mechanics of tic-tac-toe don't compare to StarCraft. Well, I see your argument there, but the sheer depth and complexity of 3D tic-tac-toe.
There's more moves in 3D tic-tac-toe than there are
grains of sand on the Earth.
Molecules in the universe. The amount of possible games we play in 3D tic-tac-toe is it's mind-boggling.
It never gets old. Take that, go.
Yeah.
But you know, it is in fact true that you could have more games of chess, like possible games of chess moves, than there are grains of sand on the Earth. That actually is a fact.
Yeah, but most of those games of chess that you would have suck so bad.
Yeah, that's true.
So you know what? Screw that, man. Whereas all the sand on Earth is at least, you know, it's decent sand. I mean, some of it has trash in it, sure. Some of it's underwater, yeah. Some of it's frozen even, that's fine. But that's all better than some of those chess games.
It's all the... we actually got a lot of people in the studio today. Thank you guys for coming down.
It's a good group, man.
It's like we find out that all the valid games of chess that have been played, only make up like part of the beaches in Bali.
Yeah.
Welcome. They're having a good time.
Oh, they better be.
People at home.
Today.
Some nerds at home in his underwear right now, wishing he was down here in the studio.
Yeah,
you guys come down to the studio. Look, these guys are having fun. There's right now in the States. There's some nerd. It's like really late. He's like in the dark, just since only his face is illuminated by the screen.
Yeah.
Staring blankly. You can come down to Korea.
Back into the shadows I go, and he rolls his chair back from his desk.
Listen, guys, here's the thing, okay? You can come down to Korea. You can come to our studio. You can make a sign. You can be on TV. You know what you can do after that?
Famous.
You can be famous. Then you can go to Gangnam. We're in the Gangnam area. You can eat Korean barbecue. You can go get hammered on soju and beer
for so cheap too.
It's cheap. Or you can get a really overpriced bottle of whiskey if you want in Korea too. It's whatever you want.
Good either.
Yeah. You can pay like $100 to have a small bottle of Windsor whiskey. I mean, if you want, but hey, it's whatever you want to do. But you can come down here. You can have a great time.
What a wonderful world we live in, Tastes.
Yep.
So many options open to everyone.
Yeah, that's true. All right, we're gonna go into game number 2 now with Rogue against FanTaSy.
Yeah, Rogue is gonna have to take this one. How will FanTaSy end up playing? This would be a decent map to see him do some meching on, but doesn't have to. He can do whatever he wants.
Can we just point out this is the perfect song? This is like the boss fight in a Mega Man game.
Shouldn't we have saved this till later in the day then?
No, it's perfect. Second match.
Okay.
BK actually picks out the best, most diverse soundtracks for the show.
Yeah, they're definitely diverse.
This is like this music plays right when you're against the tasteless boss and ladder, and I'm like, this isn't even my final form. And then I turn into like a giant gargoyle man thing.
You just duck every time he shoots his fireball. Tasteless is so easy.
Oh my god! You just gotta shoot me at the red dot on the right side of my head to kill me. And it's like 20 hits and I'm gone.
Gene Air Green Wings Rogue.
Gotta make sure those are in. Disqualified. In the commentary. In the bottom right. In the blue.
Dead Pixels FanTaSy.
I have a story about Dead Pixels.
Yeah.
So, like maybe 2 years ago, we went down and bought a laptop for my wife because she needed a new computer.
This story is already really exciting.
It's not an exciting story. It's just something that you probably didn't know. And,
yeah, go ahead.
Because I heard, I think it was like, so I think it was Wolf and Moonglade commentating maybe, and they were talking about Dead Pixels and like how, you got to check and make sure if you have Dead Pixels, return it.
Oh, shout out to Livy B.
What's up, Livy B? I know her.
We've met her.
Indeed.
Yes. When we were doing a show in Sydney.
Yeah.
Anyways,
we were in the Philippines. And Philippines is where we met.
Filipino term is where we met Livy B.
Yeah. Anyways, so about returning things that have Dead Pixels, there's actually, it says, like, I guess in the warranty or whatever, you have to have a certain number of Dead Pixels to get a replacement for things that you buy. And it's actually, the number is really high. Because I think we had like 7 Dead Pixels or something, but it wasn't enough. We needed like 10 more, something like that. Like an actual.
You needed 10 more. You needed exactly 17.
It was something. It was like 17, 18, something like that. Though it was much higher than you would think. It's like, and it felt weird because I'm like, I just spent like $1,000 on this, and like there's like 5 or 6 Dead Pixels or something, And
so you,
that's
you weren't able to get it returned?
No, you can't do it.
You didn't just like put. I mean, you would think though you could just like put up
literally
like,
just
kind of throw a fit, and they're just like no.
Yeah,
you should have like gone back home and like broke more pixels or something.
I guess we could have.
Take your thumb and like smash part of the screen.
But yeah, that's a little fact for you guys.
Yeah, somebody tweeted us how many Dead Pixels you have to return it.
Yeah. Well, I guess for every company it's probably different. But yeah,
the internet.
It's higher than you
think.
The
internet's pretty big and spread out, so we can actually.
The thing is, imagine how much money you'd lose, like 1 Dead Pixel and someone returns, and you're like, is this worthless now? Like. Do we not get to sell this like $1,000 laptop now because it has a Dead Pixel that actually you won't notice after using it for 2 days? It seems actually kind of reasonable to me. you know?
You think FanTaSy's going to take this one, by the way?
Let's see. Yeah.
He was looking really good in that last game.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
Solid push. I think Rogue actually had a good chance if the placement was not so completely and totally perfect.
Yeah, he pushed it really well. Chose a good side. Rogue did a good job with his mutas for a little bit there, but what are you gonna do, Tasteless? FanTaSy set that up very nicely. Really abused the map quite a bit. Here, it is vertical spawn, so that's good for FanTaSy. He's going to be happy about that.
Yeah, definitely when you're in cross spawns, like upper left versus bottom right or something, that's always good for the Zerg. So.
Well, looks like probably going to be a 2-hatch muta once again. We'll see, though.
Yeah, so this game, just judging by the builds that they decided to take so far, it should be a pretty long game.
Yeah.
We won't see too much action here for the first few minutes.
Certainly not with this third command so quickly.
No, definitely not.
By the way, guys, let people know that this is on. Go tweet about it and stuff. This is a really nice group today. The whole round of 16 is so stacked. And it's the greatest StarCraft in the whole world.
It is. It's the greatest game in the whole world.
That's true. In fact, just so you guys know.
Okay, actually, I have something to say, Artosis.
Yes.
Okay. People say that League of Legends is the biggest game in the world.
It's not.
It's not. It's not, guys at home. Some nerd's shouting in his mind going, no, what? What is the biggest game in the world, Artosis?
It's Minesweeper.
It's Minesweeper, guys.
It is absolutely
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper. Minesweeper's on every PC.
Computer. That's the biggest game in the world.
And don't tell me you've never played it. You've played it.
You've probably played it.
Maybe you don't play it as many hours as you play the other games, and I don't think anyone does.
But you can't
Except
deny,
like one crazy guy that's so good at Minesweeper.
I'm not sure how many people are streaming Minesweeper on Twitch right now, but I just want you guys to know that that's not what's important. It's got to be the biggest game in the world, all right?
For sure.
For
and
sure,
you know
it's Minesweeper.
Hearts is really big as well. Probably bigger than League of Legends. Solitaire.
And I think the 10th biggest game is that one where that guy skis down the mountain before the Yeti eats him.
Ski-free?
Yeah.
That doesn't come on PCs, though, does it?
I don't know, doesn't it?
If it does,
I haven't gone to the Games tab under my
I
Windows in a while. But
I never checked it, actually.
Yeah.
Pinball is pretty played.
Yeah. So League is probably like number 6 or something.
Yeah, so don't feel.
How does it feel to be knocked down from number 1 League of Legends? Get ready, there's going to be a lot of people calling it dead game on their Reddit pretty soon here.
Man.
By the way, these Hellions have actually gotten I did not expect them to be doing this much damage.
Yeah, they see the Spire and see how many drones are going to end up getting. A few. 3 bunch of lings. So pretty reasonable. We do see FanTaSy going for mech here. So these mutas could be a little bit sticky to defend at first. His eBay is only halfway done. He should be getting the turrets up right before they get there, but still, like the mutas should be able to fly around pretty well. He's going to have to pump out some Thors, which means that his aggression is going to have to be pretty limited. Thors are not something you can attack with too early on. We'll see where he goes from there. Does he go for maxing out? Does he do one of these quicker pushes?
I do wonder.
He had
when
another
he
eBay?
Oh, did he?
Is he making a second eBay right now? Yeah, he's making a second eBay.
Well, it has to be a second eBay.
Yeah, he had an eBay.
He was making 4 turrets at the
same
same
time. No, I know.
time.
I'm like, I had to go back and look, though. I'm like, wow, that's weird.
Well,
anyways.
Do you think this map is structurally one where he can exploit, the architecture of it and do a push like he did in the last game? Because that way that he pushed with some of the high ground and some of the low ground was really what won in that last game.
You know what? You know why I had to go back and look, by the way? He's getting the Viking.
All right, guys, I think we can conclude that getting a bunch of Vikings early against Zerg is not. We've seen that. It's not twice. Twice we see 3 Vikings at the start and aren't able to do anything.
Well, this could be pretty good.
Actually, well, here, I'll get about those Vikings in a second because I do know why he's doing that. But this is a lot of drone kills. Hey, look, guys, the Hellions are very expendable in a mech play. The Hellions are much more expendable than the drones. So everything he kills, and the reason why that is because you just end up with a surplus of minerals when you do this.
Oh, man. Even have to bring the mutas back. Oh, that's so good for FanTaSy.
Yeah, it's really good.
But by the way, it's just something I want to point out. When I was like going back to look for the eBay, I'm like, uh-oh. Because as soon as I said it, I was like, they were messing around in Legacy of the Void at like building requirements for the turret I read. And then I'm like, wait, what if there was a patch this morning and I didn't check?
This is the caster nightmare?
Yeah.
You're like,
I'm like, oh my god. Did I somehow miss a patch that made the turret just buildable from Command Center Tech? People are like, oh, you lost your passion because
No
you
passion
you didn't
there.
check the internet this morning. Like, oh.
Dan's like, I was bringing my daughter to school. They're like, it's not an excuse. Okay, so the reason why he actually does get those Vikings is when you're going for mech like this, Vikings comboed with turrets usually can zone out mutas pretty effectively.
You do want some Vikings for sure.
Because he's meching this time. Last time he wasn't meching, which is why I was confused about the Vikings. But this time it's different.
He's not exactly meching. He got some facts, but he's doing. Yeah, he does have the W bait. He's doing that kind of combo build that's kind of like popped in and out of use over the last couple of years.
And the unit comps. And
yeah, this is. In fact, I think FanTaSy is really one of the players that pioneered this. It's kind of cool. It reminds me of an old build.
Totally right. There's total barracks explosion here. Yeah.
Yeah. So like he's gonna have this strong mech. The strong mech backbone, and we see like Rogue making roaches here. If he doesn't do a lot of damage coming up with these roaches, we're gonna have all this bio added in with the mech, and he's gonna get just slained.
Oh my God! Speaking of slained, we have the roaches coming here now.
Yeah.
And if he just micros these Thors back, these roaches do not get any value. You can see driven out there. He does want to crack this third base, but I don't think it's going to happen, especially not with the siege tanks up here. And he can go ahead and complete that wall in if he wants.
Oh, looks like, for some reason...
A little overzealous there.
Yeah. The overzealous Thor. Oh, and he doesn't get it. Oh, he has to go back in.
Well, this is just bad exchanges all over the place.
Yeah. But that's, like, he's dedicated quite a bit to Roach Tech at this point. And now we're going to have, like, all these bio units, Medivacs coming out. And then, like, the backbone of a bunch of siege tanks. So the unit called Roach is going to be pretty garbage coming up here.
Yeah, he will have to switch out of that. So we have the Hydrogen coming here now. What do you think is the best way for a Zerg to handle this?
I like the idea of adding in some Hydras here. He's got a... Like, he has a nice creep spread. If he can, like, engage early and often and kind of make the tanks siege and unsiege a whole lot... Something like that could be pretty good.
What I was wondering is, do you think a Broodlord tech could be good here?
Yeah.
I was thinking that might be a great way to kind of counter this, because you have this... Basically, FanTaSy is doing two things at once, right? He can actually make pretty much any unit comp he wants, except for one that has a lot of air. So that might be one way to deal with this. Then again, maybe not on this map. It's hard to say. I don't know if you can be offensive with Broodlords on this map.
I think he can't do it too quickly. I think that something like Vipers is going to be good for now, but if it goes like really late, Broodlord Tech is kind of like really good super late tech when you have a really big economy behind you and you can make whatever unit comp you want.
Yeah.
But as of right now, like if he were to try to go Broodlords, I think he just gets rolled over by Marines with Stim. So I think he needs to do something like grab a few Vipers, have Hydra Roach, and utilize, you know, the yoinks and the green clouds, you know, and the Eaton of the Zerg buildings use more yoinks and green clouds.
Of course, you have to watch out for the Templars and their lightning bolts.
Yeah, when there's no lightning bolts
thunderstorm.
in this matchup. When they shoot thunderstorm,
man. Yeah.
Don't forget when the Marines take the drugs and shoot quicker. That's crazy when that happens.
Well, I got to say, this creep spread is pretty phenomenal, Artosis. I mean, this is all the way in the center of the map, and it's going to be tough for Terran to push through this. I think this is definitely a game that Rogue has a better chance. And also, while I'm saying that, though, keep in mind FanTaSy is maxed out now. He is about to finish 3 upgrades at once, so this should just trigger a push.
+2 mech attack. It's pretty crazy with 7 tanks, 4 Thors.
We have a greater Spire coming here. Nice. My name is Tasteless. I'm the greatest caster in the world.
You're not just the greatest caster. You're the greatest strategic mind that there has ever been.
Yeah, that's a fact.
There's like, I think that at some point there will be time travelers that come back to get you to bring you to the future to win wars
where I have
that aren't
to either
winnable.
stop aliens or you know, some kind of futuristic robots.
Yeah,
they need me.
Most likely. Well,
unfortunately, the world is doomed because there was Code S on that day and I couldn't go. So the push is actually starting up here. Oh, this is not good. Well, you know who wins this fight?
I think he actually is just throwing those away. I think he doesn't want
them
anymore. And here we go, some green clouds going down. Wow,
Yeah.
look at that. That's a very cloudy day, and a lot of these units being picked off because of it. Oh, the sun came out. They have to retreat.
And we have a drop over here. Not going to do enough. In fact, he needs to be careful with that.
That's
I
a
can't believe
very
that
red
didn't
medevac.
die.
Oh my god.
Well, that was a success there by Rogue. He knocked down the supply, and you can see that Rogue, as far as income, he's got 2K plus in gas, 500 plus in, 2K plus in minerals, 500 plus in gas, so he can keep remaking. Whereas it's going to take FanTaSy a little while to get back to that 200 supply.
He's actually adding a couple starports as well, really focusing on his bio rather than anything else. And I think that that's a really good choice because right now he's getting 3-3, and while +3 attack is on the way, we don't have any carapace upgrades for Zerg.
That is true.
His Marines are actually just going to shred through these units so quickly.
I do like this little drop coming up here to the right. Right now, the Zerg's army is not that mobile, especially, don't forget, he threw out those mutas, so there's not, he has to go the long way to come back here to save this. And I think FanTaSy has the right idea here. FanTaSy was a guy in Brood War who won all of his games off good builds and strategy. I mean, yes, he had good macro control.
And really, I think his harassment is a good way to put it. Like, strategically, he went for harassment-based strategies.
And he was very good at executing it.
Yeah, he's just so good at that. All right, here we go. Blinding Cloud's going down over these siege tanks. Very well done. There is only one siege tank firing right now, and that's a pretty big deal.
Also note, FanTaSy not even unsieging and trying to move these. I mean, granted, it is hard to juggle all these tasks, completely inactive in that regard.
Really good play here from Rogue. His Viper usage has been really spot on. But we do have this drop from FanTaSy. He is in fact dropping
this is actually
the
really
base
bad.
as well.
This is bad because, oh, you know what? I guess he's not going to get that, but it doesn't matter. He gets all these drones here anyways.
Yeah.
Now, we don't have a shot of this drop, but there is a drop. I believe that it just killed that base. Yep, there it is.
That's a really strong kill there, I have to say, killing the 5th base, because Rogue has a good bank, so he can just re-drone when he loses these drones. Of course, it's annoying. It's a good move by FanTaSy, but it's not like a game ender at this point.
But it's definitely something to keep him in this.
Is huge. Like,
absolutely. That's a hard base to reclaim. It's not like if you took out something that, like, you know, let's say it was his 2nd base or something, where obviously he's just going to reclaim that. It's like tucked all the way into his territory. It's hard for Zerg to start taking additional bases on this map at this point in time in the game, so shutting that down, definitely really good.
No, looks like he is trying to play a ZvZ here. Working out right now. We do have Broodlords on the way as well. As far as Vikings go, we just have 4 on the map. So.
And we don't have any more being made here. Did he not go over the Greater Spire? Does he not know about this?
He knows about the Greater Spire. Like, he added 2 starports. I believe he scanned it earlier on or something. Or maybe it was a drop that saw. But right after Greater Spire, he threw down 2 starports. So he is making additional Vikings at the moment to help out.
This is only 6 Broodlords here. So it's enough to be scary, but it's not, you know, at a point where things can start to, you know, spiral out of control.
Yeah.
But, I mean, then again, this Viking number, it is small.
Thing is, and with Blinding Cloud on top of that, it's really nice, because then, like, you can move your Hydras up to hit the Vikings, and then if anything is coming, you Blinding Cloud it. Wow, really nice quick pick off there by Rogue.
Yeah, that was the exact kind of play that Rogue needed. Come in there, do a big blow, and try to back out.
Oh, and he actually just yoinks in a whole lot of Vikings here.
Harpooning those Vikings, although funnily enough, the Vikings are not being shot down under the Hydras due to the way that the AI prioritizes things. So, I believe, actually, Terran can... No, maybe not. I was going to say Terran can clean this up. We'll see. The one Broodlord is about to go down, and then it's just Hydras. Hydras die pretty quickly.
Yeah. You definitely need tanking for them, and as the Broodlords go down, they go down very quickly.
Let's take a look at the supplies here. It's 158 to 121. So Zerg's in pretty good shape, especially with Terran having to remake that.
I think the problem with Zerg is that 5th base still isn't up, so his bank is really depleting, whereas FanTaSy can just float stuff over.
Oh my god, this is such a good play right here.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Well, this is going to completely win this fight now.
Man.
Getting the Roaches right there with the follow-up and the Hydras coming in here, I think that actually might have won in the game. Could have maybe been a different story, but that was a pretty big blow. He's reset the tank count again here.
Yeah, looks like Rogue may be able to just punch through, but FanTaSy holding on pretty well here with all these medevacs.
Land these Vikings. Yeah, each unit has its own personal medevac.
Yeah, except for the Vikings, they don't get healed.
No, they don't.
Shouldn't medevacs just heal everything?
Yeah, they should. They should heal buildings too.
Actually, that would be bad.
If the destructible rocks outside my base are being attacked, I want my medevacs to come over there and laser their rock pieces back together. Hope you're watching Blizzard.
They heal the Zerg units too. I'm like, what is this? Is the dumbest unit I've ever seen. It's like healing the roaches on the front line. Like Zerglings are, banelings are being healed as they blow
unit
themselves
randomly
up.
selects to heal.
It's like they bring banelings back to life. I'm like, what? Don't go medevacs against banelings, guys. This is terrible.
Well, I guess I was wrong. I mean, Fantasy's still in this game.
Well, he's holding on as best he can. Those Vikings on the front lines, Jason. I don't know how long he's going to be in the game with units like that.
Well, you know, the Blinding Cloud is proving to be really effective. This is a great way to try to engage unit comps such as this one.
Yeah, you know,
I think Rogue might need to be a little bit careful here because he's not maxed out here. He is really shoving hard into Fantasy, and you can very easily overextend when you're doing this and end up behind.
I like that he's doing it this time because it's kind of keeping Fantasy off his back. The way that Fantasy was staying in the game before was constant drops, killing off drones, killing off units, killing off a base at that 5th, but like he keeps shoving, and Fantasy's like almost scared to go harass. He finally sent out a medevac, but like if he sends out too many, then Rogue's shoves will just kill him. Eventually, he's going to shove him close to a cliff, Tasteless. And that's going to be that.
That's going to be bad. Well, okay, I was about to say, he better have something over here to defend.
Oh,
that was definitely an important moment in this game. We have...
I wish I could do the Hydralisk voice.
The Hydra voice?
Yeah, the Hydra. Like what a Hydralisk would sound. Like when they kill that, like, stake that. Our time has come.
I don't believe Hydras can talk, man. I don't even think the hero Hydras can talk.
I think you're racist. I just can't talk.
You can say that against
You're like, I don't recognize the way Hydras talk as a language. I'm like, Tasteless, I mean, come on, man.
We have, two more
Zerg is one of 3 races in StarCraft, Tasteless.
I'm trying to think of which Zerg units actually could talk. I think it was just like the Queens and then whatever the hell Abathur was supposed to be. So we have
Kerrigan in the Overminds, right?
Yeah, that's true. Well, hold on. We have this attack.
Could talk, can't you remember? Exactly.
So we have a push coming down now. This is going to be a tough one here for Fantasy. We got kind of a funny moment here where the Vikings are pulled in, but not always immediately killed.
Well, that other time was really funny. They just like, here, gonna look at what you're gonna kill. They're like, oh, okay.
That was like the Scorpion get over here, but not followed up with an uppercut.
Oh, we even have a couple Ravens in here. We'll see if some PDDs or something goes down.
Ooh, this is important.
If he can live through this and kill that base, that's really, really nice.
There's those point defense drones coming out now.
All right, he actually kills off one of the broods. The other one does get transfused up. I think he just doesn't really have enough over here. 20 of his supplies on the other side of the map.
Yeah, he might have to bring this drop back, try to defend, but I don't even think that's going to be enough. It's 200 to about 100 supply here.
Yeah, I think I've just calculated lethal on the board for Rogue here, Tasteless.
Yeah, that should basically be it. Zerg, it was a close game, but eventually Zerg just had, enough, was able to shove through here. The Broodlord comp was really good. I mean, that is going to be it. We're going to have to go on into game number 3 now.
I like it.
What has so far been a fantastic series here with Rogue against Fantasy.
Some cool strats, some cool ways to go about them from both guys. I'm liking it a lot. Well, it's actually going to break through. Of course, Fantasy, one of these guys, you hear a lot about the Fantasy GG timing. But he's doing a little bit of work here, really. What does Rogue truly have left? If Fantasy can kill off this army, well, no. Never mind. Like,
this is a pretty tall order.
Like 26 minerals, you say.
Look at that income go, man.
Oh, look at that. And this says, bro, move it to the left! Oh, no, that would have been the greatest move ever. He makes him waste those 2 mules.
That would have been epic,
The mules
man.
are just like, oh, we have nowhere to return this.
They have to try to return it to the main, but they die before they get the minerals there. It's like, my life was alive. All right, well, we should see Fantasy tap out here.
You know what? The mules are actually like those soldiers in Mad Max. That's like their half-life. It's like, as they bring back the last minerals, they're like, bring me Valhalla! They got the silver on their teeth and stuff.
Man, yeah.
Oh, look at this, picking off some Vipers.
Okay, well, I have to say, like, Fantasy is really attempting to defy all odds. We don't normally see a StarCraft II game go to this length.
It's because Marine King isn't in the leagues as much anymore.
Yeah.
Or, to be fair, because otherwise we would see it all the time. But, yeah, I mean, this is...
Yeah. Well, this definitely isn't a Marine King-looking game either. We don't have, like, one floating command center burning over a, outer space.
Give it time, Tasteless.
Okay, well, it looks like...
This is the counter. He's like, let's do a base trade.
Okay, it's hard sometimes to tell how behind you actually are in moments like this, but I don't think he's fully aware that this guy is maxed out and could even lose this base and still remake it.
I want to make a counterpoint. It's Fantasy. I think he does. I think he's just like, maybe I can get a draw. Maybe he has no bank and no corruptors and I can float a building. I don't know. But this should be it. GG.
Nicely done there by Rogue. It's now 1-1 as we move on to the final match between these two for now to see who's going to be the first to go to the winner's match and be very close to getting on to the round of 8.
That was a really nice game. I enjoyed that one quite a bit. The last map was actually merry-go-round, so...
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, we'll see what happens there. Definitely a map where that fourth base is very tough. Merry-go-round's been around so long, I wonder how many times I've said that. Talked about how
probably
the fourth base can be hard for Zerg to hold against Terran, but...
Also, it is questionable what strat will Rogue do. A lot of Zergs want to end it fast on this map, and sometimes even if you know those roaches and lings are coming, it's not enough.
I gotta say, Tasteless, what will Rogue do on this map, but also what will Fantasy do on this map?
That's how you cast a game, Artosis, right there. That's how you cast a game.
You seem to be forgetting there's a second player in this game.
My turn to be a caster, all right? All right, I'm going to be like, Fantasy's good, but Rogue's really good too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Here, ready for this one?
Go.
Well, I don't know. It could go either way, but I'm really excited for this game.
All right, my turn now. Ready? Fantasy's the favorite, but hey, upsets have happened before.
Wow. That's
you guys are taking notes?
Yeah.
You guys are taking notes at home?
We're giving you everything you need.
Yeah, let's see though, for real, how does Rogue actually open on this map?
Oh, that was a good one too.
I would not be surprised if he tries to make this a short game. Fantasy, very good at abusing positions. This map already positionally a little bit wonky for Zerg. Yeah. I believe our game's just now, the countdown's just now started up, so we're going to go into this. Tell your friends to tune in here and join us. This is the round of 16, the most competitive GSL Code S to date. And by the end of today, we will have half of the round of 8 made up.
Wow. That's epic.
That's epic.
Just like this music.
Yeah. Well, this is like, we had the kind of Mega Man boss music for one of the other moments here. This is definitely like we're inside the robot factory.
Yeah.
We're in We're like killing a bunch of, robot minions. We're going to go to the boss soon.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you nailed it.
I think I got it. All right, guys. Time for game number 3. 2 players. One's going to move on to the winner's match. Who's it going to be? We're going to find out now with Fantasy against Rogue. In the upper right, in the red, he is
Gene Air Green Wings Rogue.
We need this shot to be a little bit longer here. In the upper left, in the blue.
Dead Pixels Fantasy.
Is that a DT35?
It's an old keyboard, right?
I don't think it was. I think it was. They have a lot that look like it now that are mechanical. Just the pure whiteness of it. I was like, But, all right, we'll see what these guys do. TVZ, early game.
How are you doing today, Artosis?
I'm doing really good.
It is a beautiful day.
It is
today
awesome
in Seoul.
out.
Seoul, we don't always have the best weather. We can have some pretty brutal winters and
pretty hot summers.
Some pretty hot summers,
pretty
but
wet.
right now it's actually amazing out.
Yeah, it's so nice. And that's exactly why I'm inside
In this dark cave casting a video game. That's right. Vitamin D, no thank you.
Yeah. Vitamin D, more like Group D.
So stupid.
It's true, though. It's Group D.
Yeah,
today.
it's Group D. Wow. Oh, my God.
I'm like, sunny outside, more like rain is playing today. Actually, I should have just saved that. He's playing Wednesday next week.
I have tears in my eyes. Oh, Artosis, you are funny. We have a Reaper build here for Fantasy. Vitamin D, more like Group D. This looks so good.
Oh, my. A little scouty scout going on.
Yep, he's going to see the position that he's in. This is actually quite a good spot for Terran against Zerg. Because this map is rotationally symmetric, so this is a great way for any new bases for the Zerg. For Terran can push it pretty easily. Like, yeah, Zerg can get that base that's not as close to the Terran, but it's still an easy push.
Yeah,
everything
no matter
overall
what you take is going to be, it's
ideally
tough to
Zerg would have wanted to be in the bottom starting location on this map.
You get to, like, the forests that you get to choose from, either Terran attacks downhill at it.
Oh my God.
Or he attacks with something that he can utilize medevacs to lift up and down from. So it's like very hard to combat. You have to decide which of the two evils that you want to play with. I chose my one of the two evils a long time ago. His name was Nick Plot.
His name was Tasteless. His name was Base Taste, okay?
Is that what his name?
Yeah.
His name became Base Taste.
Yeah. That's my new ID now, guys, is Based Taste. You know, Snoop Dogg became Snoop Lion or Snoopzilla or whatever.
I thought you were Fabutaste.
I was Fabutaste. I was Fabutaste, and now I'm Based Taste.
That's like the funniest dream ever, Fabutaste.
Yeah, I switched to Taste. Since we have a little bit of downtime, I had this dream. This was like last year or something. I had a dream that I changed my ID to Fabutaste.
Yeah, that was so
And then
funny.
I woke up laughing. I'm like, that's really funny. It's like, if you had a dream, you find something funny in a dream, and you wake up and it's like not funny really, you're like, what?
That was funny, though.
Yeah, it was funny.
You were right on that one, but no, I don't have funny dreams. I only have scary dreams. I'm a haunted man.
You only dreamed of being chased by a monster. It's like, every time Artosis goes to sleep, it's very sad.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm scared,
Oh,
but
God.
I'm so tired.
And you wake up, you're like, oh, I gotta go cast Golem. No, I hear you, Artosis. Every time I go to sleep, I have another nightmare that I'm one of these pro gamers in the booth, and then I realize I'm in my underwear, and then I wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you realize that you're casting in your underwear.
Yeah. No, when I'm casting my underwear, I'm like, I'm fine. This feels fine.
Yeah, it's normal.
I'm okay with myself.
Yeah.
So we got the scouting links to come up here. I can't believe he actually didn't shut that. Are you serious?
Now he does a backflip over the minerals and kills an SCV.
The Ling actually like skydives off the ledge, base jumps down.
Yeah.
The Ling base jumps off the edge of the map.
He glides back with a gold mineral. Where the hell did he get that? He's like, he gets 8 minerals from him. He's like, what?
Most epic Ling ever, man.
And then he goes to try to do it again, and it like just gets shot down. And it's like, well, I mean,
because that was only going to happen once.
You can't freestyle climb forever. It's like very dangerous.
I actually saw this documentary about the guy who invented base jumping.
Yeah.
And it was like really good and like really impressive. And then I found out he died at the end.
That's sad.
It's really sad, man. Don't go base jumping, guys. Stay inside. Get on your computers.
Yeah.
We got
do something safe.
Do something safe.
Like playing your computer all day.
And we have nice Ling counter coming up here.
Yeah, these Lings actually getting so much work done. It's crazy.
Okay, we got a little pickup here. He's going to back out now.
Are you kidding me? 8 workers killed so far.
Okay, I don't want to be too hard on these guys, but this is a bit unacceptable here from Fantasy to just let that many Lings get in there.
Yeah. Oh man, everything falling apart.
Everything just went wrong at once.
Fantasy's world is just in shambles at the moment. Look at this.
This is 46 drones to 25 workers.
He is not getting enough.
This might actually just cost a goal game here.
I feel like it already has. The lead that we see here is pretty significant. 5 workers killed against 15 at this point, 27 SCVs against 47 drones, and the thing is, this is a 2-base Zerg too.
Yeah.
It's going up to Mutas. So how does he afford to make missile turrets from here?
Well, he does it, man. Every SCV that's going to make a missile turret isn't mining either. So,
Yeah.
I mean, this is going to be very tough for him to actually survive.
The amount of minerals he's going to miss out on. Oh my god.
Is that life in there playing right now for Rogue? What is up with these lings? This is pretty impressive, the Linger has.
Yeah, seriously.
Every Marine that he can get with this, it's going to be very helpful. We have
look, even
Mutas about to
just
hatch.
pick off anything. He's like, well, Zerglings are free and have a build time of 0. I guess I'll just kill everything with
Yeah.
them.
Oh, go for the Viking. All right, now that's the first time we've had the Wallen actually.
What? God.
Yeah.
They just like slam dunk that.
Rogue's like, screw it, I'll send 2 Mutas and win this thing. You have no anti-air.
Those just went up and did the Bruce Lee punch to the Hellion and just exploded there. Now the Mutas are here.
Yeah, this is a moment that FanTaSy could just straight up lose.
Yeah.
This game could just end right here. This is going to be very tough for him to hold.
Oh, man. Well, maybe Rogue does get out of this group. We'll see. Is ZvT looking quite nice in these couple of games, for sure. More and more SCVs go down. SCVs apparently fighting units in this game.
Well,
he really should have rushed a +1 infantry armor, so these SCVs would have done a little bit better against the Zerglings.
Yeah, no kidding. Problem is that there's no way for Terran to really control the flow of Zerg units coming in here. And in fact, the Mutas can cut off access to the base down here. Oh my god, this turret's actually going to do it. Well, if there was one way he could come back. So now that he's driven the Mutas out, he might be able to stop the Mutas from interrupting traffic, from getting over and stopping, from the main to the second base there.
Hey, Tasteless.
What's up?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Interrupting Muta.
Interrupting
Muta. Killing all your SCVs.
How many Mutas does he have now? Was that like 4 or 5 there? He's got 4 more coming. I'm sure there's more there that are going to meet up with this. Yeah, you know what? This is probably just about enough.
Yeah, it's definitely like not a winnable game for FanTaSy at this point. The damage
By the way, he
is
finally
too
filled
high.
enough depots that Terran is almost supply blocked here. It's at 45 to 49.
God, these Lings have been absolute madness. Look at that.
Yeah, they're still there doing damage. The 1 hero turret. If this turret goes down, this base is done. And there we go. GG, he scans and gives up. Hey, great execution there from Rogue. Rogue taking a page from the Life playbook. I really like it. He really knew how to handle that game.
Yeah, he just slaughtered FanTaSy.
And we see a lot of players that will back off at that moment and be like, okay, I did my damage, but Rogue actually knew. He said, I can win this. I can close this out. No problem.
Well, the lane
go.
damage just kept stacking up. Like the amount of SCVs that he ended up killing is insane. It's just I don't even know what the number is, but it was a lot.
Well, FanTaSy obviously disappointed with that game. He had such a strong game 1, but the other 2 games, Rogue just was solid, especially that last one. That was pretty scary. And that does it, man.
I think FanTaSy now, to get out of this group, needs Parting to get out in first place. Like I don't like the FanTaSy Parting matchup that much, to be honest. Like I think that's pretty. Just looking at their styles,
Parting's
I feel like
pretty
Parting
good right now. I think
he'll like dribble the ball in between FanTaSy's legs and stuff, and FanTaSy's like, oh.
Do some Harlem Globetrotter stuff. He's like spinning the ball on his finger. We're gonna go
Spins on FanTaSy's finger. FanTaSy's like, whoa.
We're going to go to a short break. When we return, we're going to go on to Parting against Gumiho. I'm knocking stuff off the desk. Parting against Gumiho here at the GSL Code S.